Today is May 7th, 2017. It's Sunday. I'm kind of like on a video blog, like download update phase right now. So my topic is like self-discipline is hard. That's the topic of this video. So it's been an interesting week. Like, I don't feel like I've done so good with certain things. I also think there's reasons for it. And like right now, like I'm just working on getting my channel rolling, and finding out what to do with it, and also like introspecting a lot and working on my own life and trying different things. I'm constantly learning a lot, and so it's like with the things that I'm learning, I'll put it out there so people can have somebody to relate to, somebody who might like understand, if you want to reach out to me, talk to me. Then I can also use this medium to like get some feedback from people and help me on my learning adventure. And it's just like this week, I kind of failed at a lot of things in a way. I think part of it's my job. Just like I get off of work and I'm tired as hell. They did try to put me on overtime hours early in the week, and that didn't work well because I have a sleep disorder, so I showed up late. Really pissed off the superintendent in charge of that operation. So we're working on a bank, and it's a remodel, and so the bank is still operating, so we're supposed to go in there and do construction before the bank opens, and then leave. And for me, with my sleep disorder, like I'm better off if I would come in and work late rather than work early. So I did own up to that. Like, that's embarrassing for me. It's hard for me to step up and say, hey, I have a sleep disorder. Like, because it's not that I don't want to do my job. It's not that I don't want to be helpful. It's not that I don't understand and I don't want to get things done. It's that like something's I have a physical problem, and so that's what's up with that. So that didn't help. And then the week was kind of rough too, with like physically strenuous work where like I had to break up that tile. So there's a video of me complaining about that. That was pretty ridiculous. That lasted for 2.5 days, kind of ish. And that prolonged activity, like I had to scoop my butt around under the table and stuff to do that because that table was too heavy to move. So that like caused me some pain, but I didn't feel like I stretched and stuff, but I didn't do my yoga. So I came off of work feeling kind of frustrated and worn out. And then on Friday I spent a really long time over the asphalt and got cooked out and was sick. So I guess maybe there's a reason why I kind of failed this week. Last weekend, I can't remember what happened. Maybe I was at the gym. I think I was. No, I can't remember last weekend. But it's like I'm kind of doing a little bit of like spring cleaning, so I didn't really get things too cleaned up. I hate it when like I want to keep my living quarters clean because it makes me feel better, like to have a clean environment. Like I can think more clearly. I have easier time focusing. I feel less stressed out and less frustrated when things are clean and neat and organized. So there's some stuff that's accumulated in a few places that it's gotta go, and I gotta figure out what I'm doing with it too. So I'm playing video games right now. You're on my phone. Um, so that's going on. So I didn't get things too neatly organized over here. Stuff's just kind of ripped out and on the floor and all over the place. Still looks better than it did before though, but it's time to clear shit out. And that's going to include the garage. And I'm going to start selling stuff on eBay or something and get rid of all my junk. But I'm not happy with, like, other than that, like, how trash my living quarters has gotten. Kind of, like, I failed totally at putting my laundry away last week, and what I'm supposed to be doing based on, like, my books and stuff, which is another thing I have not been doing good about, is my logbooks that I showed you guys, and task orientation and time management. I've not been doing good about that, and I think part of it is, like, with my life, like, I have a good deal of interest, and I do think I can achieve a lot of things. You know, I got hobbies, I got things I like to do, like I have turntables, so it's just like a thing for me that I do. I don't put music out there or anything. It's just something I enjoy, and something that's a part of me that I have no plans on getting rid of. I just don't do it very often, you know. But it's still a part of me, and it's still something that I do. And I want to have time for that. I want to have time for friends, all that stuff. So, I mean, I really had a crappy week physically and laxed up on the self-discipline because I'm supposed to be on a rotation schedule during the week with my chores to keep myself from having to do this kind of cleaning on the weekend, because it takes like a whole day for me to do a general clear through on everything if I'd like trash my quarters. And I do find that I make excuses for myself to a certain extent when it comes to that, in that, like, oh, well, I do such a good job of making sure everything's clean, you know, it doesn't matter, I'll get it later, and things start to pile up. It's not a big problem, but I really need to work on that. And the meal thing, too, is really hard because, like, American eating standards are pretty nasty and unhealthy, and we're kind of in changing times when it comes to, like, dietary expectations and what's normal and stuff. And I'm a millennial. I don't know how it is for other people. You know, I didn't have, like, the guiding hand of parents growing up, so, like, I have to learn all this cooking stuff, and I have to relearn it to a certain extent because of the, like, health focus in my diet. And I didn't take the time to really plan my meals this week. Like, it's something I find that's very frustrating to have to do. And what I need to realize is that when I do that, when I actually do what I don't want to do, it's just going to get easier and easier. Like, it's hard right now because it's just the beginning. So, you know, that's my big deal. And I'm dealing with, like, my social life. And I'm thinking hard about, like, who I want around me and who I don't want around me. And I'm making new friends, and I'm hearing from old friends. And it makes me think of, like, what are my values, and how do I stand by those values, and what matters to me. And I've kind of been on this trip, like, since I broke up with that psychopath, or whatever you want to call him, that crazy person I just dated. And, like, I don't want no more sick people around me that are, like, sick in the head like that. And I don't like how they, like, take all this they take away from my life to such an extreme that it's just unbearable. It's completely destructive. I don't want to find myself with people like that. And I do want to have a social life, and I do want to be happy, and I do want to be able to date and all that. Just not crazy people. And so I'm working on making new friends, and I'm trying to work on making the decisions about, like, do I want to talk to this person or some of the other people I know that have contacted me. And that's kind of tough to really say, hey, like, you know, when somebody's talking to me crappy, or they disrespect me in a certain way, like, they're showing me what's going to be a repetitious behavior. And some of it's based on, like, repetitious behaviors that I've observed. And I gotta stay away from that. And it's not easy to make that decision. It's frustrating. And things went wrong at the house with, like, our appliances, our stove, and our dryer for clothes went out. So we got a maintenance guy coming in. But it just kind of like I think I probably have reasons to be thinking the way I'm thinking, and a little bit stressed out right now, and I just kind of gave up this weekend and put a really half-assed effort into doing my chores. And you know, I still did responsible things. I didn't really go out and hang out with anybody. I tried to hang out with somebody, but our schedules conflicted because we didn't plan. So, you know, but it's times like these that make me realize, like, why I do the things I do, like, why I'm hard on myself about needing to do my chores and needing to cook my food and needing to manage my time and needing to think about who I'm talking to and kick people out of my life and watch my behavior and stuff, you know? Because if I don't, then I get a habit like this where I'm like eating. I mean, what I got to eat this week is still better than what most people will be eating. I'm not happy with it because I love to eat really good. And cooking for myself would be the best way to achieve that, and I want to eat healthy too. But, you know, my room's a mess. I got things I've been neglecting, and I understand that I can only achieve so much in a short period of time, so I gotta avert my focus on certain things. And then I think about, like, the vampires that try to suck the life out of me that have come into my life, like my ex. Fucking crazy as hell. And it all matters, like it all matters. All this stuff that I'm thinking about and working on and focused on really has serious consequences, and these are important things to be working on. But it's not easy. And it's days like today where I'm just, like, kind of beating myself up over my own imperfect behavior. One of the things that I really like that I heard this week, I found a video lecture by some guy about virtue. I think he was like a psychologist, though. And he was lecturing on virtue, and one of the things that he was saying was, like, life is suffering. Well, I'm looking at my TV playing video games while I'm talking here, but life is suffering. Like, don't expect life to be happy, or else it'd be disappointing, you know? Like, there are things that are part of the human condition. There are conditions of existence. And you have to respect that. And you have to expect that. Like, nobody's perfect. Nobody has a perfect face, body, whatever. Like, anybody who looks like they do is photoshopped and in an image, or, you know, other Adobe software and video editing, whatever. like not a real person. There are no perfect people. Like, we're all imperfect, and that's what we have to accept. But it's also like the understanding of virtue, you know, the understanding of the need for virtue, the understanding of its relevance in life, like whether you're religious or not, that these are ways of being, things that we can do to minimize our suffering and find a way to a better path in our life. And that's why, you know, sin and bad behavior and watching yourself and caring about what you do with yourself matters. And I look at the kind of people that I'm omitting from my life and the kind of people that I don't want around me, and these are people without self-control. And when I look at their lives and think about what kind of an influence would they be in my life, I see something that would make me worse off. I see something that would cause problems and pain and suffering that I don't need. And it's because of a person that lacks self-control. And so there's no good reason. Like, I put effort in, you know, to work on what I gotta do and give a crap about what I'm doing and think about my life. And if people who can't do that, like, I can understand imperfections and differences, and I can respect that. But people who are unaware and just like living their life in sin, they're living a life of suffering, and they're creating suffering around them, and they're not happy. And I'm sure that, you know, the people around them aren't happy. You know, people with substance abuse problems and stuff, they're not in for good health. You know, they're not really doing much. And I don't find that reality enjoyable when I get involved with these people. I just feel miserable, and it's like, why can't we just go do something fun? Why can't it just be simple? Why are you always complaining? Why are you never happy in your relationships? Why are you dating assholes? Why are you doing this shit with guys or with girls? Like, so I'm just looking for people who are a little more understanding of reality. But, you know, I mean, that stuff's relevant and it's hard, but it matters, and it's because it makes your life better and it increases your happiness. Like, even though I'm having like a self-discipline, beat myself up, you know, imperfect weekend here, like, I can accept that. You know, I'm still making progress, and I know that I'm getting closer to where I'm trying to go. And that's what matters to me. And I know that I'm doing alright at taking care of myself, especially by comparison when I look at the kind of people that I don't want to be around and how their lives are based on their behavior. So, you know, could be doing better, could be doing worse. Yeah, it's frustrating. Self-discipline is not an easy path, but it is something that has to be done, you know? So that's my 2 cents for today. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm probably gonna upload this, like, right now or something. I got other videos that I just shot that are gonna be in editing. I'm kind of doing a general video blog update here. Catching up on things. So, peace.